Everything is good, and I'm just so glad to be talking to Carlos Cervantes.
What's up, Mark? How are you?
Hey, man, it's good to be free, isn't
Oh yeah,
it?
definitely, Mark. There's been this light sense of spirituality lately for myself. January 20th was my 12-year home, and I can't possibly imagine living any other life, right? Like through the journey, through the path, through the good and the bad. Like I feel blessed, to be home, to be free, but most importantly, like to be of service to the community. Like that's right now, that's what really drives me. And like my family is everything. I have, my son that's gonna be 2 years old, my daughter's 14 years old. My wife has this great career as a school teacher, educator. And then here I am, right, coming along, tagging along in their lives, but also, making sure that I'm being of service to my community. So it's always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Please, what are we gonna talk about?
I want to hear about the ride home, and I want to hear about what that's like when you pick men up, and then when you get them home. What's important to you? What do you see? What are they going through, and what's it feel like to pick a man up who's just come through the gates?
I'm gonna have to take a deep breath for that one. So first of all, we're going on our 10th year with the Ride Home program. We started this program based out of necessity for the folks that are coming home after serving 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And as like lately it's been like 30 years, 40 years. Um, and that if first initial person that's gonna see them, make contact with, that you're never gonna forget that. That's that one thing, that human connection to someone. Secondly, the most important part, Mark, about this work is like we do this non-judgmentally. We don't judge anyone for their path, for what they've been through, what they're going through then and there, what kind of crimes they committed. For us, we look at it as like we have to help this individual, this person, get to their next phase of life after incarceration, which is freedom. And for many of us, I'm formerly incarcerated. I've known what that looks like for myself, is making sure that they have resources, making sure that they have these great job opportunities, but also making sure that they have support and community that they could lean on, for them to be well at the end of the day. And so spiritually, we're intact with what that looks like, right? And then in the physical form, having someone get into a brand new car, that's talking to you, right? Like while you're on the road, it's a culture clash, and so for many people, they just it's a blessing to have seen the other side of those fences, because a lot of us, we thought we were going to die inside. You go to prison, right? And you have a whole world of violence, of gangs, of traumas, and you don't know if you're going to make it out. So for us, for people to make sure that they have a community that they could lean on while they're transitioning back into the world.
I know one of the things you've talked to me about is the importance of creating a sense of dignity for the person and to smooth out the ride. Don't you take them somewhere, a couple of places on the way home, so it's not just so abrupt, right? What do you do to smooth out that entry?
And this is like the famous part of the Ride Home program, is that we want to make sure that we take them to their first meal, right? We want to break bread together. One of the things behind breaking bread with people is that it just breaks all boundaries. When you're sharing a meal with someone, something as important as food, especially after that person, you haven't had this type of meal, whether it's a cheeseburger or whether it's like chicken wings, whether it's pizza, a fresh, nice meal, that you're sharing with someone. And then on the most important day, like the day you get released, breaking bread for us is like a central part of this. We talk about, hey, what are you gonna eat? What do you want to eat? You have all day or the rest of your life to think about what you want to eat, and it's because we want to make sure that we break all boundaries. Like, so here in California, we have a very segregated prison system. So for me, sharing, that first meal, breaking bread with folks just breaks all boundaries. You build that trust that you have in someone. We could now eat together as human people with dignity and respect. And the second part of it is, like, most people have never been to Starbucks. Most people haven't had, what the Frappuccino vanilla bean with whipped cream and drizzle on it. And they don't know what venti means and grande and all that stuff. So we interpret that as that's the way people's lives look as they're coming home, right? And so little by little, we start explaining, hey, you might want to get a venti, you might get that Frappuccino macchiato, because it's going to be amazing. It's going to change your life. And that's how the world is. For a lot of us, it's a whole new world. We have a whole new concept of what the world looks like. And those first moments when people, whether it's take that first bite of that cheeseburger, or, take that fresh, Starbucks, makes them really feel like they're home,
And
so.
don't you make a stop also for them to see something, some nature, water, or
We like to appreciate people's journeys. A lot of times, we understand that, we look at water, we look at nature as something that's very spiritual for folks. So, and then very cleansing, right? So we love to take people to the beach, to the ocean, get their feet wet in that water the first moment they come home. For them, it's a sense of cleansingness, right? For them, it's a sense of, hey, I'm free, I'm here, I made it to the water, right? Like, so that's one of the first things that we do. It's either that, or we go to the mountains, right? We go to the mountains and we take that fresh breath of air and realize, how blessed we are to be alive. And again, it's part of the journey for folks that to see these things as they're coming home, because they interpret that as freedom.
that's so beautiful. And why don't we agree to continue the conversation another time? You've got so much to offer, and thank you so much for all that you do, Carlos.
Mark,
You are a blessing.
thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you're doing. We've been down this path, for quite some time. I think we've known each other for like about 6 years now. And I always appreciate you checking in, making sure that we got that continuity of building relationships with folks out here to get to the next level of life. So thank you so much, Mark.